Lives of our Saints. On the 12th of November, our church celebrates the feast day of St John the Merciful. The following are some thoughts on his life and works. John was born on the island of Cyprus in the year 555, the son of Epiphanios and Cosmia, a devout Christian couple of considerable means who saw to their own child's every need. The father was not only rich, but was the prefect of Cyprus as well, so that John grew up in a cordial atmosphere, enjoying every advantage, knowing nothing of the poverty which he did his best to eliminate later. He was married and thereafter placed in charge of the family enterprises, a duty he pursued with none of the zeal he found in actively participating in church affairs. John's religious leanings and strong faith in Jesus Christ stood him in good stead when he was sorely tested by the tragedy of losing in rapid succession not only his parents but his wife as well to a disease which spared him. Left alone, he gave himself over completely to serving the Messiah and set about alleviating the suffering of so many less fortunate than himself. He adopted the ascetic way of life, disposing of his entire estate for the benefit of the needy and the afflicted. A man of infinite mercy, he saw to the establishment of hospitals to care for the sick, orphanages for homeless children, and the distribution of food to the poor. His largesse knew no bounds, and his philanthropy was made known in every corner of the empire. Emperor Heraclius was so impressed by John's kindness that he offered the influence of his office in a sponsorship of John's ever-increasing benevolence. Soon John was a familiar figure and welcome guest of the royal house at Constantinople. It was at the insistence of the emperor that John agreed to serve as Patriarch of Alexandria, a city which received him with wild acclaim and which sorely needed a spiritual leader who could cope with the many problems that beset that Christian community. In 608, John succeeded to the patriarchal throne of St Mark, the first bishop of Alexandria, a throne which by now was tottering on the brink of financial disaster and was assailed on all sides by the divergent factions and heresies. These woes were no match for John, who lost no time in balancing the books and bringing harmony where there had been dissidence for years. In a few short years, John had a spiritually and financially healthy community which rallied to the side of any stricken community, of which there were many in the surrounding area. When a famine set in on the remote British Isles, John managed to fill a ship with food and supplies and boarded the vessel himself to see to the proper distribution once it reached its destination. Shortly after he returned, he was host to hundreds of Syrian refugees who had fled the Persian conquest and sought solace in Alexandria. No one was turned away, and the manner in which John was able to provide from a seemingly endless larder